I showed you that diagram, you know, of how you decompose a value structure, and you can do it right down to the level of detail, you know. So you want to make dinner, you go below that, higher resolution. You cut up vegetables, you move your arm, it decomposes all the way, differentiates down all the way to skill. You put these skills together and you represent them with abstract concepts. I can make dinner, I can take care of my family, I can undertake this job at work. That makes me a decent father. That's part of being a good being a good person. The question is, what's at the pinnacle of that, at the upper end of the abstraction hierarchy, because these things should be organized all the way up into a complete hierarchy. What does it mean to be a good person? Well, it means, we've walked through it, it means you win the set of games, you go out into the world and explore, and you bring back what you've found, and you build yourself out of it, and you share it with other people. That's an old story. That's no different than the story of the collective hunt. It's exactly the same thing, right? You build yourself into someone that can have a long-term relationship with someone of the opposite sex, generally speaking, so that you can bring children into the world and turn them into exploratory heroes and stabilize the state. That's what should be at the top, and that thing that's at the top, it's the same thing. It's the integration of all of those things into the same thing, and that's the same as the sun, that's the same as the halo, it's the same as the thing that emerges from the belly of the whale. It's all of those things, and you also know that because you know that you have the capacity for admiration. It's in you, it's locked into your biology, and it's locked into your sociology. You see what you admire, and that's a partial representation of the ultimate ideal. It's as simple as that. So I kind of nested this, so I should just explain this diagram briefly. So it was a map I tried to make in some sense of my own identity. I mean, just using myself as an example of someone typically situated in society. So, you know, I have this role, which is kind of a high resolution role. I'm a father and a husband, and I also run a business, and so the father and husband thing is sort of nested inside of that because it's dependent on my economic success to some degree. And then that's nested inside a capitalist structure, and then that's nested inside, well, I said American personality, but it's sort of, that's good enough. And then that's nested inside the humanistic Western personality and inside the Judeo-Christian personality, and that's all nested inside this thing that's best conceptualized as something approximating the exploratory hero. And so that's a value structure that's, and you know, you can differentiate that to a much higher level than father and husband, and we did that when we decomposed things right down to, you know, their motor actions. And you want what you want, and this is, I think, there's something that's transcendent about this. You want all those things stacked up so they're all operating properly at the same time, all the way up and all the way down. And I don't even know how far down means. Like, if you get all those things together, your physiology be organized and oriented properly too. Oh, you know, and that means your organs work properly and the micro elements of them work properly and all the way down. And then if everything is organized like that too, the society starts to work. And everything starts to organize itself along a horizontal axis where each level of the structure supports every other level. And you can feel that, I believe. That's what you feel when you're engaged in doing something meaningful. You can feel those things coming together. And you can also feel like that as a kind of strength that pushes you forward instead of pulling you backwards. So, and I think that our nervous systems are very sophisticated, and they orient us in time and space, and they can tell us when they're in the right place at the right time. And people love that.